see we've got a couple different multi-packs here, 4 packs of these Minicons, and then 2 of these standalone ones. And you can see in the package here, 2 of these come with these shapes, Autobot and Decepticon, that have, you know, weapons and armor and whatever built into them. And then these 2 up here in their standalone spots, those also have the weapons and armor. And then we've got 2 that are just kind of loose. And I believe 2 of these, you can see right here, these guys are the same guy, just different colored. And I'm not sure. I think their transformations are exactly the same. Not 100% sure. So that's something that we'll look into as we go through these. So let's start, I guess, with let's start with one of the big packs, why don't we? So let's take these out for now, and I'll set them on the floor over to the side here. And maybe, okay, oh, some over here. And now we'll adjust the camera so that you can see here is this 4-pack. These Minicons, let's see. You can see it's just a regular window box. The Transformers Robots in Disguise logo. Everything that we've come to expect. These are 1 step. So I'm guessing these snap open like Bakugans. That's going to be my guess on some of these. And I noticed that some of them have these round shapes to them. So Bakugan seems like a pretty good equivalency on those characters. And you can see if you look here on the package, they're made to snap into these, other like vehicles or whatever the heck that thing is, Crazy Bolt. They're deployers. So I guess you can pop them in there and then they shoot out somehow. But then also some of them, like this one, Slipstream, he is a Minicon weaponizer. So any figures that can take those weaponizer weapons, you can add them on there. So Hammer, Undertone, Anvil, and Slipstream. And of course, it has to say Decepticon because Hammer, MC Hammer, Garden Hammer, Tool Hammer, any type of hammer, lots of different hammers out there. Sledgehammer, you can't really trademark the word hammer. So it's Decepticon Hammer, Decepticon Anvil. But I'm guessing you're not supposed to beat them into each other. That's a shame. All right. So we will open up our pack. Actually, where did oh man, I just set, there it is. I set my knife down somewhere, and I'm not sure where, but here it is. Bloop. Nice and easy. Open the box, slide them out here. And there you go. And we do have some sort of instructions. 4-pack, Quator, set de four, come four, whatever that means. Shows you the basic, how they snap together, and then the pieces that go on. Adult must remove parts from frame. It says right there. So I'm going to have to find someone to do that for me, I guess. And you can see in there we've got all of these plastic ties that are holding them down. And again, I'm not one of these, like, gotta save the rainforest people. I'm more like one of these, hey, I'm lazy and I hate having to cut them all out all the time. Can't you just throw them in the tray and put the tight layer of plastic on top to hold them in place? Do we really have to do this every single time? Anyway, so we've got, oh, there's another one down here I missed. Get lost. All right, so here we've got our weaponizer with a name. He has a name. He is Slipstream. Slipstream is our weaponizer, and he's got these little added pieces that go on, these armor or weapons or whatever they actually happen to be. And you can see that it is the Autobot shape, the frame of his head. That is kind of cool. I mean, I'll give him credit for that. As far as cutting these out, I don't know if these snips are going to work. They'll work well enough. I'm not that worried about it. All right, so we have our little guy here, and you can see that there's a little peg hole on his arm, and we've got this little thing that, nope, doesn't go right there at all. Where does this go? This goes in his hand, maybe? Ah, yes, in his hand. So this goes in here somewhere. So he's got a gun sitting out there. So instead of holding the weapon in his hand normal, it goes in like that, I guess. I don't know. That's weird. But then somehow he folds up. So to fold him up, according to the instructions, we just snap this together, and now he is a weapon. Ah, I see. This part folds down. So he's a weapon. Okay. So that makes sense. We've seen some of those smaller Minicon figures for the Titans Return line, and this is something pretty similar that goes along with it. And apparently when it's in this mode, these pieces can attach on here as well. So this one goes right there to add some little extra boost of weaponry. So let's snap some of these out. I do like the idea of, you know, Minicons as far as being weapons. I'm not sure about these other ones, these Bakugan-like ones. I'm just going to call them that because I'm lazy and I don't really know a better term for them, but that seems to, you know, make sense with how they look. Let's see, we've got some pieces there. We've got a mask thing here. Looks like it attaches to his head, like that. Covers that up. Let's see. And these look like particle effects for these gun mounts on top to help make it look like it's actually firing something out. That's kind of cool. I like that idea. That's not bad. All right. Let's see where that's going. And then we've got two little leg pieces, leg armor, or arm armor, I guess these are. And this fits on how? Like this and like this. Okay, so in this mode, this is the gun that you would put in the hand of another figure. And that's actually not bad looking, actually. That's pretty cool. With those attachment pieces, adding that extra translucent look to it, I think that looks pretty good. If that's, you know, you've got a guy holding that in his hand, he's going to look all right. That is a nice looking weapon. So now, as far as the transformation goes, to transform them into this shape, we had to push the arms in. So do we pull them? Nope. Let's say, do we pull them out? But nope, that doesn't move. We push this. No. How do we unlock it to make it? Oh, and I lost one of the things here there. How do we? Here, let me pull these off. Oh, so okay. So I pull like this. All right, so once I pull and it opens, according to the back of the box, all of those other pieces stay on exactly as they are, but I move the entire photo tent, knock it over. That makes for a fun video. Let's see, I move these guns and put them into his hand like this, and now he's a powered-up robot that shoots. Now, I got to say, this to me looks a little sillier. This is not as cool. I think because looking at it as if he's a robot, these pieces up here just kind of look silly. Like, is he just walking around shooting flames or snow cones out of the top of those? Like, what is the point of that? I don't know what that is. So that's not as cool, I would say, overall. But you do have the option of taking them off. I don't know, can they fit anywhere else? I don't really see another spot where you could put them on, so there's not really any other options. They're just kind of on there or they're not. But so okay, so the robot, we know that the robot mode is going to be a little bit lacking just because they are Minicons. There's not a whole lot you can do it. There's really no articulation to speak of. You can't really move anything as far as any of that goes. But it's a Minicon. We know that from other regular Minicons. I do like the symbol right there on his chest. It's a good Autobot symbol. Part of the Robots in Disguise. That's how they do theirs, and always on that white background, and that's okay. No problem with that as far as that goes. But yeah, in robot mode, it looks a little silly. The face mask thing just makes it hard to see that there's actually a face under there. The ones on the sides up here don't really do anything aesthetically. They're just kind of clipped on. Although I noticed he's got these other things down here. He's got another hole, but there's not another weapon that goes there. So I'm wondering, can these fit? No, it doesn't look like those will fit there. And I'm wondering, can these snap in here some way? No? I don't know, that's weird. there's some reason there's another hole there. There must be another part. I don't know if maybe there's a giant, like boss weapon thing that they can snap into in order to, combine. Maybe that's why. I'm just kind of looking to see like what other options there might be. So we can take those pieces off, and these we can probably take those tabs and stick them right in there. Yep. So you can put these big guns on his arms and just have them pointing up if you want him to have the look like he's carrying them, but he's not really doing anything with it, although it does kind of impede his transformation a little bit, but not too much. But overall, it's a neat idea. Honestly, I don't know that I really need those extra pieces. If you just kind of left him the way he is like this, and just say, there's your little Minicon robot guy, and you don't worry about the extra little pieces on him, and then you just snap him up as the gun, and just have him like that. I'm fine with that, actually. These extra goofy translucent pieces, they don't really add a whole lot overall. I mean, it's nice to have them as an option, as extra accessories, but honestly, if they weren't in there, I'd be fine. Now, that may have something to do with the cost of them. Like I said, these are on clearance nowadays, so they're a lot cheaper to pick up, and that may be a big difference as well. I mean, I hardly, paid anything for these, nice and cheap, and that's certainly, going to change how I look at these things a little bit, just because the dollar amounts involved always, change the way you experience things. But overall, and again, I see some holes here where it looks like there's more peg stuff can go, but these don't want to fit. So maybe some of the other accessories from the other characters would fit on there as well. I'm kind of having a tough time getting these back on. It's a little tough to line them up because you can't really see it all that well. It seemed to go on fine the first time, so now I'm thinking, hey, these should just pop right on, and they're not. It's kind of driving me nuts here a little. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, like I said, it can be a little tough to line them up just right because I'm an old man with bad eyesight. But I keep every time I put one on, I'm knocking another one off because they don't sit on there super good. But, I think overall, this guy I think is all right. This guy is all right. I'll play with this guy. He can sit, and the fact that it's really just this peg in the back that he's holding onto, which means there's a lot of different figures that can hold him from throughout the line. So you don't necessarily have to have one of the robots in disguise weaponizer figures. He's going to work for a lot of stuff. Okay, we spent a lot of time on that guy. I don't think we're going to need to spend that much time on all these others. Let's pop out these two little plain ones here that don't have any extra bits to them. They are just there to be there. And let's see. So this guy, you have to fold up his feet and push it together, and he becomes a ball. Okay, that's kind of cool. And then this one, what do? You just flip up the bottom like that. Okay, and he becomes a ball. And they just become these spiky balls. And, yeah, look at that. They sure are. Okay. And so if I want to transform back, do I just pull the feet down? That feels a little rough. It feels like there's some tension behind it. It doesn't quite want to just open up. I guess you have to be careful because these arms move. Although I'm noticing, now that I mention it, the arms move. That is nice. There's a little bit of extra articulation there to move the arms out so that you can get a better look of him there. He looks a little more anatomically, well, I don't want to say anatomically correct. That's the wrong term, but it's a little more feasible as a robot that he's got an arm sticking out like that as opposed to just having it, stuck back there, because that would be pretty much completely useless. So he's a ball, and then I don't even remember how I folded this guy up. I'm just going to pull somewhere on something, see if he opens. Is this? Okay, back like that. And then you have to fold his feet out. Well, it says 1 step, but technically it's 2. You got to open him up and fold his feet down. I think that's some bad advertising on their part. Grumble, 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 grumble. But generally speaking, taking a look at these guys, there's really not much to them. I can see that there's some sort of clip here on the blue guy, or the white guy's arm. There's a blue clip, and here on the purple guy, there's a gray clip. So they obviously clip onto something, and I can see that they also have the little peg holes on here for accessories. So even though they don't come with any, it looks like you can take some different ones and pop them in there. And in fact, like here on his arm, there's like an L-shape piece. There were no L-shaped pieces on the gun on Slipstream. So I don't know what piece would go there. Maybe there's something in this one. Maybe in the other box there's some sort of piece. So generally speaking, though, these are just bland little guys. These arms do not move at all, it looks like. It almost looks like they should. It almost looks like there's a little ball joint in there, but that's just the molding to give it a better look. So these guys, I don't know. Are these guys, you know, maybe these would work with Unicron. That's an idea. I've got a Unicron on top of a bookshelf covered in dust. And I wonder, when these guys are in this little ball mode, if they would work as little moons around Unicron. Because the way they made the Unicron figure, if you guys remember, is it had a place for little Minicon planets. It came with one that would sit on there, and then it had some other spots. I wonder if any of these holes here, you know, would be able to fit one of those pegs. You could throw it up there and then just be like, hey, look, he's got more moons. That might be something to try out later. I'll have to keep that in mind. Maybe I'll pull it down before this live stream is over. Depends on how much time this takes. All right. So then finally, we've got Hammer up here. And I hope I don't hurt him. Because please, Hammer, don't hurt him. It's MC Hammer. MC Hammer jokes. Come on, folks. Jokes for MC Hammer. All right. So he is a bird. So instead of being a robot, he's a little bird guy. And the bird mode looks pretty good. Kind of like a dragon phoenix looking thing. As far as that goes, yeah, he's all right looking. That's kind of cool. All right, so then when we fold him up into a ball, I guess, let's see. So we got to push these wings back. I'll spin the tail around, it looks like, maybe. Spin the tail around, and then he can fold back. Fold into his ball shape. And it's, you know, it's kind of like the other, just a little funky. It's a little rough in spots. Again, would this work? I don't know if this would work on, I don't see a big spot where this would fit in Unicron, where there's a good peg hole. Maybe you could just, you know, jam one into an empty spot here or something like that. But that's, you know, I like the colors. The red and blue are cool. But then to open them back up, I guess you just pull, and he just kind of wakes back up and spin. And again, they say one change, but I got to do 3. I got to fold it open, pull out the wings, and flip the tail around. That's a 3 move. You guys are lying. Why are you always lying? All right, cut these out. Oh, there's another one. Another one up here. My thing is locked. There we go. All right, so we open this up here. Cut it, cut, open. All right. So more accessories. And these are not symmetrical. So these are going to go different spots, do different things. So I'm going to have to pay a little closer attention here to the instructions. This thing goes on this wing somehow, one way or another. This is, what the heck is this? What is going on with this thing? I guess like this? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know how that's supposed to fit. What? Is it the right thing? This is number 3. That is number 3? This is this is number 8. Number 8. Where does 8 go? 8 goes somewhere else. They're showing a close-up of another part of this guy. Okay, so here's the instructions. So here's the instructions for the little guy, and you've got all the numbers. They're tiny little numbers on here that are part of the sprue, and you line them up. And here it's showing some part with my bad eyes, it looks like those are the feet from behind? Maybe? So does this fit on his tail? Somehow? I don't know which way. Like this? No? Like this. Like this? It doesn't. Like this. Okay. All right. That's where that goes. Apparently. Okay. Oh, I just threw this piece out here. This goes on his head with a big, does it? Yeah. Okay. Like that. Adds a big horn to the front. And then we've got these pieces that will go, these go on his wings up here somehow. Oh, like this. Okay, so they make like these extra gun things that are shooting out the front. All right. Those are, all right, that's cool. All right. Take that. And then we've got these that go somewhere else. Where do these go? Back here on this part of the wing. Somehow. There's a peg. There's the, oh, no, that's the other thing. Those are the other things. These go on the other part. That's not that part. This is the different part. This is the 4 and 5, which put them in here. Like this? Like that? No. Like this? No. Like this? Like, oh, okay. All right. Somehow or another, these go on here. There's two things. Do these two things, oh, they work together? They work together this way? They work together like that. Like that. No. No, they do not. Oh, boy. I'm not sure. Okay, so I've failed in paying attention to which one of these was number 4 and which one of these was number 5. And one goes on one side, one goes on the other. Well, let's see. Let's check these other pieces. These are 6 and 7. So 5. It looks like 6 and 4 and 5 and 7 go together. But again, I don't know which one's which. That doesn't help me at all. Very good finding a useless clue. Dirt, you are a genius. All right. That doesn't want to work at all. Look, look at the, all right. I'm gonna shove. I'm gonna shove. Okay, so it goes in at an angle. It doesn't go in straight. It has to go in at an angle, and that's why. You got to think 3-dimensionally, not 2-dimensionally, and the other one pops right in. All right, so we've got some extra guns on there, and they slide in perfect if you do it the right way. And then these extra pieces goes on this side somewhere, somehow, like this, kind of. No? Somehow, there we go. Starting at the front piece. Okay. And then we've got number 7 on the other side. I got to tell you right now, I'm not as enthusiastic about these pieces as the other ones, especially the other ones in gun mode worked good. These look like they're not going to work at all when it's in the ball. So you got to find something else to do them. The only time you can use these is when it's in bird mode. And I got to say, I'm not a huge fan of all of these in bird mode. I can see adding these extra guns. I could see adding these extra guns. Maybe the helmet piece. These on the wings just don't make any difference. And this back here on the tail doesn't make any difference. But you can't, like, if I spin these and try to bring this around to close it up, see, it's not going to close with all these things on it. It's going to get close, but it's not quite going to fit with all. Well, maybe it will. Maybe if I push it hard enough. It doesn't quite feel like it wants to close, but if I push it hard enough, it will, which may be a bad sign for the long-term health of this thing as a toy, but nonetheless, all right. So with everything on it, will it stand? Kind of. It'll kind of stand there. So I guess you could You could leave all of those on there. All right. All right. I will take it back then. I will take it back. You can do it. It doesn't seem like a good idea, but it is possible to close them up like that. And then you just pull. It doesn't want to open something somewhere stuck on something. So you got to be kind of careful. If you care about, keeping it, you don't want it to completely break, then yeah, you do need to be a little more careful pulling it apart. But it will work. So all right. So we've got our two big ones here are the bird and the gun. And I gotta say, I think the gun is a little better just for the ability to use it as a piece in another transformer. You can when you add a small one to another big one as some sort of accessory, I just find that a little more interesting. Although honestly, I'd probably lose all the translucent stuff. It's not that important. I don't really care that much about them, but they are there. This bird guy, he's okay, but again, in ball mode, the only thing I could really see maybe using him for is, again, with Unicron, I don't really see that whoa, and I just broke the tail off. Just popped the tail. I think I can pop it back in there. But I don't really see a good use for him outside of, I'm sure if I had one of those launcher things, there might be more to it. But I mean, honestly, like I said, it's okay. It's not like I hate it. It's not like, oh, I'm sorry I wasted the $2 or whatever it was that this was as part of that pack. But generally speaking, overall, like, it's okay. It's not the greatest, but it's okay. But I do like that gun. Instead of going to the other 4-pack, let's pull these out. Let's bring these little ones in here and take a look at these real quick. These are both Decepticons, Sand Sting and Dive Bomb. And Dive Bomb is some sort of, looks like jet sled thing. And Sand Sting is some sort of like scorpion thing. He looks like a scorpion when he transforms, but then he also turns into one of these sled things. So looks like, is Scorpion his alt mode? That's weird. I don't know. We'll take a look at that. First, let's open Dive Bomb. Rip him apart. Throw away all of the extra stuff that we don't need. And let's see. Is there anything else in here besides the instructions that just confuse me at my old age? No. And that's it for instructions. He's a thing, then he's a thing, and then he's a thing with bits on him. Okay, good to know. I'm going to take this guy. So his transformation, so right now he is not transformed fully because you have to flip the feet. So there you have the feet flipped out. That is him transformed fully into robot mode. And again, like you expect on these, there's not a lot of articulation or anything. Weird thing is, though, this guy feels a whole lot cheaper in quality terms than the other ones. Let me grab one of these here. Pop him back open. This guy feels heavier than this guy. It feels like a stronger plastic. The plastic on this feels much more rigid. This feels more like Happy Meal plastic. You can look on the back. That looks terrible right there. I mean, that just looks so incredibly low rent. They did not think through the look of him from this side at all. But it really feels hollow. It just feels like there's nothing to him. As far as his transformation, flip the feet down, poke him in, and that's it. That is him transformed into his space thing. I guess there's some pegs there we can pop there. So now it's secure, but that's it. That's the look of him. Looks more like a foot to a combiner, really. In fact, that might be a cool way to do it. I've got the Minicon one, the three of them, the tank. What is it? It's a tank and a helicopter and an airplane, I think, that combined together. And they all felt cheap. They felt like this too. But I don't know. Making a piece out of them. it doesn't really feel like there's a whole lot to him. It's a little concerning. All right, if we look at this, we can see he's got a chest piece that would fit right there. He's got these arm pieces that fit on the side. He's got guns that go in his hand, and he's got these things that shoot off his knees. That's kind of weird. And then I guess this piece goes on his head. Number 4? Yeah, it looks like 4. So another face mask thing. And it looks like they would all fit when I transform him. So it looks like all the pieces would still be able to be there. And in fact, when it comes together, if you look, you can see right there, there's like an extra, it makes like an extra square there. So I'm guessing there's something that probably attaches onto that piece right there. And obviously you can see there's some here that match, very similar or the same to these right here. So again, I'm guessing they made that so some of the other pieces that attach will be able to attach to them. But, again, overall, there's not a lot to him. He feels pretty cheap. Let me see if I can pop some of these pieces out here and apply them. It does cover up his Decepticon symbol there, which is a little sad. The headpiece. Oh, you know what? The headpiece may not be able to fit when he's in this mode. How does this thing... Oh, these two pieces go together and make a little joint. There's like a ball joint. Not a ball joint. It's a hinge. Hinge. Well, there's a round thing in it, so a round part makes it a ball joint. Okay, so I'm trying to piece these together because obviously they do. It's funny, though. Nowhere in the instructions does it show that they actually piece together. It looks like just one goes on his head and one goes on his chest. But they actually do. I can see how these piece together to make a hinge, and yet I can't get them to go in there. What the heck? Ugh. Well, this is exasperating. This is a pain. Why are you always doing this, Hasbro? Come on. Give it the times, man. Give it the times. You gotta... Some assembly required shouldn't be small little pieces like this that are this hard to maneuver. And part of it is I'm afraid I'm going to snap them off if I push too hard. Okay. All right. So, chest piece gives him his little helmet in that mode. When it transforms, the head just slides out of the way and it still sits there. So with the piece installed, you can lift it up. I don't know why. I don't know why you would. See, it sits back. It's on his face. I guess maybe you have to move it out of the way when he does his transformation and then put it back down. I guess. Although, I don't know. I mean, it's all right. But when it transforms, it's like it comes loose. It doesn't want to stay in his chest anymore like it's supposed to. With this piece moving in there. It is what it is. I'm not going to go through all these, but you can see, if you look at the illustration, you can see where all these other pieces would go, and they could fit. But he feels so cheap. Like, I just cannot get over the fact of how cheap he actually feels. Like, the plastic of it, the lightweight. There's only, a few moving pieces. As it all comes together, this feels like a Happy Meal toy. This does. I'm way more disappointed with this guy than I was with this guy, because this guy is a ball. He's not doing anything, but he's heavy. He feels solid. It feels like there's a lot more weight to it. It does feel like a Bakugan. If you've ever played with those, it does feel solid and round. Whereas this plastic is just so cheap and loose. I'm going to set that aside. Let's open Sandsting here. See if he feels any better. Or if he feels just as cheap. Throw that away, throw that away. Don't need any of that. Open this bag here. Get out the instructions. And again, he's a thing with bits on it. That's it. All right. So in his alt mode here, I guess this is alt mode, or is this is not vehicle mode, right? This would be the alt mode. He's a Scorpion, and he's okay looking. And he actually, I can tell you right now, he feels heavier. He does feel like a more legitimate figure than the other one. So this guy, what's his name? Dive Bomb. Dive Bomb is cheap, and not only is Dive Bomb cheap, the instructions are just on paper, just regular paper, and it's not a very thick, nice paper either or anything. Sandsting, it's glossy. It's like a glossy coated, like you'd expect from a nice set of instructions. So that is weird that they would do that differently on the figures. But then when he transforms, let's see. So we fold that's it, right? That's all we got to do is fold those in. Yeah. We just fold these in, and that's it. He is now transformed into not a Scorpion, into this thing, whatever he's supposed to be. Is there artwork on the box that at least explains better what these things are supposed to be? Nope, does not. They're just like this. So then he's got his stuff that you can put on, and his stuff is a little crazier, actually. Let's see here. What are these? These big nice looking things. 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Oh, they go on the back of them somehow. All right, let's take off 3. And 3 goes on this side. Like this? Is that right? That's weird. Yep, that's how it goes. So it attaches on. Of course, it doesn't want to hold very well, but those attach there. So he's got these extra, like, fire axe machete things. I'm not sure what those are supposed to be exactly. We've got, let's see, what is this? Number 8. 8 goes on his tail. So 8 goes on the Scorpion tail here, and fits on how exactly? I guess right here on the tip of it. So it adds guns to the Scorpion tail. Okay, I can see that. 6 and 7. These are bubbles that come out of him. He shoots bubbles or something. Interesting. These says okay. So the instruction. This is number 6, right? This is number 6. It says that 6 is supposed to go on this side somehow. Does it go on the bottom, I guess? The artwork on these things leaves a lot to be desired most of the time. All right, so I guess it goes on like that. This one like this. Somehow, there we go. And then these pieces go on his claws. So his Scorpion claws have like these extra claw piece things to it that fit on, I guess, like this. So it looks like the little grippy part of his claw has some sort of thing to it. All right, and then this piece, number 5, goes in the middle. So let's open him back up. How do we pull on the? Oh, we pull on the legs. He opens back up. So this piece, this headpiece thing, goes on here, on his little Scorpion head. If I can get in there with my fat fingers, there we go. Nope. Yes. No. Yes. There we go. All right. So that's him with his gear on. It looks a little silly. It really does. Not the best looking thing, but you squeeze those Scorpion legs and you snap them back together, and it does close up with all the pieces on it, and it becomes whatever this thing is supposed to be. So whatever demon drill blade gun cutter thing this is. And, again, I'm going to pull all this stuff off. Him in his In a Scorpion mode, I mean, as a little robot Scorpion guy, like if you just pull all this garbage off of him and you just say, look, he's a robot Scorpion, that is a cool alt mode or vehicle mode, whatever he is, because I don't know what the other one is. So if we say, hey, look, he's a Scorpion, you can go, okay, that's kind of cool. And then when he transforms into whatever this thing is supposed to be, if these little loops weren't on there and you just said, like, he is a boat, sure, I could buy that. He's a submarine, maybe, I could see. I don't know, he's a spaceship, he's a space arc thing. I think I'd be fine with that. I mean, this really doesn't do much of anything, but I could almost fake it enough. But this piece here as the Scorpion does look pretty cool. So I kind of like him in this mode. I don't really like all the pieces on him, and I don't really think that he transforms into much of anything, really. Whatever that is, even with the pieces on it. But, I mean, it's all right. So, again, like I said, I bought these on clearance, so I'm not really that bothered by it, but it is still kind of disappointing. And now I've got all these little loose plastic bits that I don't want to lose, but, I mean, I don't know what you can do. All right, here's our final box of 4. We're going to go through these quickly because we've spent enough time messing around with this stuff that we don't have to do everything so incredibly in-depth and detail. I do want to take a look, though, since one of these guys is a repeat that is recolored. Let's pop him out, and it is the Undertone. Is that his name? Yes, Undertone is a duplicate. And it looks like, okay, so this pack, we've got Undertone, which is a duplicate of the guy that we've seen. We've got Backtrack, which is just another Bakugan ball that turns into a guy. We have Beastbox, who turns into some sort of like UFO-looking thing. And then we have Swelter. Oh my gosh, is he the same guy? He looks... Oh, he's one of those. He looks the same as Dive Bomb. So I guess Dive Bomb, I guess it makes sense. Dive Bomb, he is some sort of plane thing that shoo, dive bombs down. Okay. This guy is the same. You can see that it's the same mold. They put a different head on him. I guess the arms are a little different. The legs are the same. It's the same layout, the same transformation. I wonder if he feels the same as cheapness. As cheapness. That's a thing now. That's a question on Jeopardy. He does feel just as cheap. So these are your big disappointment, guys. But they can probably share the same accessories. So even though he didn't come with any, you can just throw that on there and be like, hey, look, now he's got some stuff. Oh, he's mad, he's mean, but he's got green armor gear on. But his transformation is the same. And he also turns into one of these kind of useless looking things that does nothing. So, again, I can't even describe enough just how cheap he feels. It's a little different. You can see they gave him a tail on the back. The arms they have the same hook points. You can see that there's the same, where something is going to attach to it. But the overall shape is a little different, a little more flat. The legs are basically the same. They just added a little bit of flair to it, but it's the same shape underneath. So these are the same brothers from different mothers. Nothing exciting there. That is really actually kind of disappointing. And then this guy, Beastbox, and I guess maybe he's a rapper. Beastbox. Let's see. He just folds up. He folds up like this and becomes a part UFO, part snail. I guess he has antenna. Is it the front or the back? I'm not sure. Is he supposed to lead with those, or do those follow behind? take a look at the picture. He leads with those. So he flies like this. Whoosh. But then when he transforms, he turns into Broken. I just popped him apart. Let's pop him back together. Actually, let's pop him apart again real quick. Can we? Oh, now I don't know how I did it. Now I'm afraid I'm going to actually break it for real if I do. But you can see that he has kind of an ape shape to him. You've got a little bit of articulation there on the arms just so that they can close up when he does that shape. But he becomes an ape, a gorilla, something along those lines, which is kind of cool. I wish these things weren't on there, because if he folded up just into a UFO disc, and you could say like he's related to Cosmo, the little green UFO guy. He's a gorilla. He could be Cosmo's pet. That would be cool. I would be 100 times happier with that than this thing. But I mean, it's all right. It's a cool idea, I guess. It at least gives him a little bit of a different shape as far as that stuff goes. And then here is our redeco, which I don't mind redecoed characters. And in this case, it's supposed to be like he's optimized for a different climate. This is like the desert version of him or something. I forget what it says in the box. This is let's see. We have Scorch Strike undertone is that one. Whereas our white one, our blue and white one, wherever he is over here, this is just our regular undertone. Let's see, are there any real differences between them? Pull these out, flip the arms, take a look at, maybe, flip the arm. All right, and then we take a look at this one and flip the arm. Set them down side by side. They are identical. Yep, they are 100%. It is just a redeco. But, of course, this one comes with accessories, and all the accessories that fit on him are going to fit on him. So you'll at least be able to add some stuff. And we can see there's chest piece. We've got some armor. We've got some leg stuff, whatever. And we had something that fell loose a minute ago. Oh, it's right there. A little piece that fell right there, which is, I'm guessing, part of the chest armor. Whatever. Anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So nonetheless, like I said, I could see that he had pieces for stuff, but he didn't come with any. But of course, he does in this version. And of course, the pieces that come with him are going to work with him. So at least that you can play around with it a little bit, customize them as you see fit. I'm noticing, though, this one, when he transforms, the legs don't want to move all the way back into their spot like they're supposed to. Let me fold them up and pull them back down and see if that makes a difference. Not really. I don't know if you're seeing that, but the leg joint there, it isn't straight. It's supposed to... I'll move the arms out of the way here. Let's see how this leg is straight on the white, whereas here it's got a curve to it. It's supposed to push back more, and it's not doing it. There's something blocking the way it's put together. So it's not put together as well. So there are some quality issues that you can see with these. In fact, when I try to stand him upright, he's leaning forward, whereas the other one is standing up more. So you can see that there's some sort of leg issue going on with him, and it doesn't want to bend and snap back into the right spot. So I don't know. Maybe there's a little piece of plastic stuck in there or something. I'll have to take a look at that later. But it does fold up into the same ball. And again, these might be good planets for Unicron. And then we'll grab our last guy here, backtrack, cut him out. He looks kind of like a little friendly robot along the lines of Herbie from Fantastic Four, or the scooter thing from Mask. Just kind of has that friendly look, although he is a Decepticon. So he's a friendly looking neighborhood Decepticon. And you just close him up to make a solid ball. Actually, kind of looks like one of the ones from Phantasm. He's looking for you. And then he's a lot smoother than the others. These others, if you look, they have little spiky bits and stuff to him. He is just straight up smooth. So there's not a whole lot to him in that mode. And then as far as opening him up, so I could just pull on those and he'd open up. He does not. Pull it there. Okay. So you got to pull up the arms first and then pull the legs down. As a robot, this is kind of ridiculous. You can move the arms there. So that's something, I guess, that you can move them forward. Oh, I guess you can put them down at the side like that, but still not a lot to them. Can these fold down anymore at all on the legs? Is that it? Let me look at the picture of the back. Nope, that's it. There is not a whole lot to this guy. Looks like the best you can do is fold these out like this. So it looks like his arms, it gives his arms the illusion of a little more reach. But his legs don't do anything else. They don't seem to fold down any more than that. You can fold it out, but not any more down. So he's, I don't care for this guy much at all. He is pretty useless. He's
Go to Xfinity Wi-Fi.
Maybe our Wi-Fi went down. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. All right, so folks, the internet dropped out. We had a little bit of a power problem. So everything died a minute ago. I was wrapping up. I was almost to the end, so I'm not sure if this is just going to put this at the end. If this is going to replace my whole video, that would suck. Or if this is just going to add it at the end. If we're going to have like 2 minutes of blank space there. But nonetheless, I was wrapping up, so I was going to say I was pretty disappointed overall in most of these things, but at least the ape guy looks kind of cool. He can sit with the other Minicons. That UFO-looking one can sit with the other Minicons. The Scorpion one can sit with the Minicons, and that gun I'm going to use. But there's the 2 dive bombers and the 4 ones that are just balls. The balls, maybe I can fit on Unicron. Those dive bomber ones are just garbage. So I'm really disappointed on those for the most part. If I was going to buy some, if you can find them on clearance and you can get the one that looks like a gun, which is, what is his name? Slipstream. If you can get Slipstream, you find him on clearance somewhere, buy him. He's great to add to somebody as a weapon, but otherwise the rest of these are pretty terrible. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Sorry the feed cut out like this. Like I said, I hope this little end message doesn't replace the entire video. That would be terrible. Don't forget, though, you can go to comicofthemonth.club. Use the referral code DIRT when you sign up for Comic of the Month. You can watch the other video that reviews this. This little affiliate link, this is not making me money. This is not to make me rich. This is not to make a car payment, pay my rent, anything like that. Pay my rent. I own a house, but, you know, nonetheless, I'll say rent. This is not to make me money, but I believe in Comic of the Month Club. It's a great service. They do a great product, so make sure you go check it out. Sponsoring this video. That's going to do it for me, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.